Welcome back to Dash Explore. I'm Sarah, and today I'm gonna bring you guys along to pack with me for our family of 4 for a 7-day trip to Switzerland, and only in carry-on bags. All right, so just a little bit about this trip before we jump into the bags that we're packing and what we're bringing and all the things. We are leaving this evening and flying into Zurich tomorrow morning, and from there we are actually getting straight on a train to go spend 2 nights in Lucerne. So when we get to Lucerne, the weather is supposed to be 80 and lovely and wonderful, and then from there we are gonna take a train from Lucerne up into the mountains into a town called Wengen. And this is where this trip and packing gets a little dicey. As of this week, it is supposed to drastically cool off in Wengen, up in the mountains, and there's even a chance of snow. So if you are a parent out there trying to pack for a trip in general, let alone for children, going from 80 degrees to snow really throws you for a loop. So we are actually ending up bringing a 3rd suitcase, which we have never done before with our kids. So we have 3 carry-on suitcases and 2 backpacks to accommodate for some potential snow gear, or even if it's raining, it's still gonna be cold. So we brought some gear to take care of that. And then the last leg of our trip is taking us from Wengen to Geneva, and we will fly out from Geneva. So we are doing a lot of different stuff on this trip, and who knows what we're actually going to need. And if you are curious to see how we use all of the stuff on our trip, make sure you subscribe now, because in a couple weeks, I will be coming back with an unpack with me video so I can show you everything we brought, what we regret, what we are so glad we had, and all of our thoughts about the trip in general. So make sure you follow along for that in a couple of weeks. And now let's jump into packing. So we are gonna start smallest to largest, and smallest will be my belt bag. I have taken this on every trip we've been on so far, and I just find it to be very easy. I can wear it close to my chest. It fits my passport in it, and I keep mine and Delaney's on me, and Andrew will have his and Haley's. I have my sunglasses. I have one of our cameras, my AirPods. My phone can fit in here as well. So anything that I personally am gonna need on the trip, I try to keep in here because I'm dealing with 2 other children and I don't need to be juggling a bunch of stuff for myself. So this is just so easy and so convenient for travel. So next up is my folding bag. And if you've watched our pack with me and unpack with me videos from Italy, I brought this to Italy all packed up, and then we ended up using it on the flight home. And I have really grown to love this bag. It's really great for travel. It has lots of nice pockets. It folds down really nicely. I do wish it folded down a little bit smaller, but overall I really love traveling with this. And I wasn't really planning to travel with it this time, but Delaney really does not like to carry her backpack. So for this trip, I just went ahead and started with her bag inside the Foldie bag. So her lovey, her blanket will go in here when she gets up from her nap. Her headphones for her tablet and her diapers are all in here. So this is the stuff that Delaney will need for the plane. This whole thing will go under her seat, and that way she doesn't have to worry about carrying it, or she can carry it through the airport if she wants, and we can just use the strap on this to put it on our suitcases. But this way I was also able to throw a couple of other things in here that we might want to use throughout the trip. So things like diapers, and we also have our toiletries in here. I did also put in this bag our outlet converters. So on the off chance we need them on the train once we get there, or in the airport for a minute, we have our outlet converters. If you have never traveled abroad, you need to know that they have different outlets, and outlets are different everywhere. And if you've traveled to Europe before, that does not mean that the outlets that you had before will work in Switzerland. Switzerland has its own set of outlets, so do some research for wherever you're going and make sure you have the right ones. And the last thing I have in this bag is a foldable picnic blanket. We are hoping to do a lot of picnics on this trip. The food in Switzerland is kind of expensive, so we were hoping to just go to the grocery store, have some picnic snacks, especially up in the mountains where the sights are beautiful and there's lots of playgrounds. So we were hoping we'll get some use out of this. So I bought this from the Target dollar spot 2 or 3 years ago. So it folds down really nice and fits right in the bottom of the Foldie bag. Okay, so next let's get into Haley's bag. So this is Haley's backpack, and similarly to Delaney's, this has everything she is gonna need for the plane. It has her stuffy and blanket, her headphones for her tablet. I also put an extra change of clothes in here in case she gets dirty on the plane or she wants to change once we get there. We have an outfit that is easily accessible. For this trip, I also got her a little notebook to write in. She is still very early in kindergarten and not writing a whole bunch yet, so we have this in case she wants to color or practice writing her name or whatever, but I thought this would be an easy something to toss in her bag for her to color with. I also put a snack in here in case she gets hungry when we get to the airport, or she's hungry on the plane. She has one that's easily accessible for herself. And then the last thing that's in here is our GoPro. So Haley has watched us record lots of videos of her throughout her life, and she has started kind of doing some when we are out and about together, and she wanted to do some on this trip. So we got her this necklace so she can wear it, and you can also tighten it so we can keep it closer so it's not gonna fall off. And she is gonna be taking some videos on this trip. She is already very excited to record some stuff, so we are really excited to see what she comes up with on this trip, and we will be watching her. She's not gonna have it on 24/7. We will hold on to it for the most part, but I did put it in here because I know she's very excited to get to the airport and record some videos. So that wraps it up for Haley's backpack and the things that she will be bringing. I also try to be conscious of not making it too heavy because we have had to run through airports before, and I would hate her to be overburdened with stuff if she doesn't need to be. All right, now let's get into the grown-up backpacks. So this is my backpack. I have talked about it in a lot of my other videos, but I love it. It is very large, holds lots of stuff, and I just think it's great for travel. So the first thing I have in this back pocket is my laptop and Haley's tablet. We try not to have their tablets in their backpacks. We just prefer to have them as we go through the airport in our own stuff because we know that we will keep track of them. My laptop is in here as well. And then in this front pocket, I have our portable charger and 2 charging cords. They are the USB-A type so that they will fit in this charger and also in outlets on the plane. These are always good to have when you're flying in the airport. And then in this front pocket, I have my charging cable organizer. I've mentioned this before, but I got this probably 15 plus years ago. My mom gave it to me for Christmas, but it is great for organizing all different types of cords and keeping them from getting tangled, and just fits very nicely down in your bag. And then now, let's open this up. All right, so we have this big giant pocket, and we'll start with this bag. This is the bag I take on every trip, and I call it my bedtime bag or bedtime routine bag. It has my phone chargers, my retainers, my sleep mask, anything I need for bedtime I've put in here. I also have a little bit of makeup that didn't fit in the other toiletry bag. So for the most part, this is just everything I need to take care of myself for bed. Next up, we have this eye mask that hooks to the headrest on the airplane, and it's supposedly wonderful. It is kind of large. My review right now is that it takes up a lot of space in my backpack, so I'm not particularly sure how I feel about now, but if I get a good night's sleep tonight because I have this thing, then I might be changing my tune, but I decided I'd give it a try. Next up, snacks. Gotta have snacks for kids. We try to bring some stuff from home that is familiar. Hopefully most of this snack bag will be gone by the time that we are on our way home, and we'll get to buy some fun snacks from Switzerland, but it is nice to have some things that is familiar for them when we are in these new places, especially because we'll be out and about and doing lots of things. So I always make sure to bring a big bag of snacks. Next up, I have our Sony a6700. I was on the fence about bringing this. It is kind of a heavy camera, but it takes really, really incredible pictures, and I just feel like we have the potential for a lot of really cool shots on this trip, so I'm going ahead and bringing it on this trip. We will see how often we use it, but hopefully, since we'll be doing lots of like hiking and have a backpack and stuff, that we'll get a lot of use out of this. Okay, next up, kids' toys. I tried not to bring too much on this trip because we really don't use very many toys. I have 1 pack of our mini magnet tiles. These are great for restaurants and for the plane or train, any sort of travel day, but they're a very easy toy, although they are kind of heavy. Next up, I have these mini light bright touches, and if you turn them on, they light up, and basically what you do is you just hit the button and it changes colors. You can make all different kinds of patterns and designs. Both girls really love these, but it is a fun, just easy toy, and I thought they were relatively small that we would give them a shot for bringing them on this trip. And then the last thing I have in here for kids' toys are these Play Pack grab and go coloring kits. So I have 4 of them. There's 1 more down in there, but each of these has a coloring book, crayons, and stickers. They are so great for restaurants. They're very thin. They don't take up a ton of space. They're easy to put in a bag or a backpack. So we will have these just in case we need them throughout our trip. Plus I found these cute Halloween ones from Target, and we are definitely in the Halloween spirit here. And then lastly, in this case, I have our drone. So we have not taken a drone on any of our Europe trips so far, but it does seem like we are going to be able to fly it in several places throughout Switzerland. So we are going to go ahead and bring it with us this time. We have read all the rules. We have made sure that we are registered. We've taken the tests, but hopefully we get some really beautiful shots that will just really capture the beauty of this place. And then over here, I have a Sharpie and some pens and pencils, as well as a pair of glasses for my computer. And then, of course, I have some Dramamine for kids. Haley does get motion sickness, and we are going to be riding on a bunch of trains on this trip, so better safe than sorry and bringing this with us. All right, next up I have Andrew's backpack. This is not super exciting, and I really won't go into it too much, but for the most part, he has all of his clothes in here. So he has 1 big packing cube and a smaller packing cube with some socks and his raincoat. The only thing that is really for the kids in here is we have some wipes for Delaney, and her tablet is stuck down in here. Again, we don't usually let them carry their tablets through the airport, so we've got all that stuck back in here. He is also gonna stick an extra pair of shoes down in the front part of this, and he has this toiletry stuck here in the front. So he pretty much has all the stuff that he needs right here in this bag. All right, now it's time to get into the fun stuff, and that is the suitcases. First of all, I'm super excited because I got this brand new carry-on from Away Suitcases for this trip. We have the larger carry-ons, which unfortunately you cannot use for international travels. We took them to Paris, but we were able to check bags on that trip. So we haven't been able to fly with our Away Suitcases in a while, but I do really love these suitcases and I'm so excited to fly again with this suitcase for this trip. So let's open this up. Okay, so this suitcase is all of the clothes for me and the girls. So on this side, I have my stuff. I have my packing cube and an extra sweatshirt. In here, I have, as you can see, a big cozy sweatshirt. I have a pair of jeans. I took a picture of it. I will pop that up on the screen of what actually is inside of here. I have 3 short sleeve shirts, a long sleeve shirt, pajamas, which are leggings and a tank top, some bras, underwear, socks, all of those things. And hopefully it is enough to keep me warm on this trip. And then underneath here, I have some diapers, as well as some gloves for the girls. So nothing too exciting on this side. And then same thing over on this side, we have packing cubes for the girls. I will go ahead and put their pictures from what's inside their packing cubes up on the screen now. But again, we try to pack a capsule type wardrobe. So they both have 2 to 3 long sleeve shirts, 2 to 3 pairs of regular leggings, 2 pairs of cozy leggings that are fleece lined, socks, short socks and long sleeve dresses, short sleeve dresses, 2 sweatshirts, 2 pairs of pajamas, 1 short sleeve and 1 long sleeve, just a wide variety of things that will hopefully we can layer and keep them warm when we are chilly and be able to take things off when we are in warmer spots. So that is what is on this side. All right, 1 suitcase done. Let's move into the next one. All right, on to our next suitcase. This is one that you might recognize if you watched our Italy videos, but this was new to us this past spring. It does have a wider handle, which I'm still on the fence about because you can't like loop your bags on it, but what is nice is that Delaney can sit on the suitcase and we can push her through the airport so we don't need a stroller. And that also brings me to the point that the reason we are bringing a 3rd suitcase on this trip is that we are not bringing our stroller. I will get into what we are bringing instead in just a minute. That's in our next suitcase, but we figured we could use this in the airports, in the train stations, and then we have a backup option for the rest of our travels. So we have this suitcase. What's also really cool about this suitcase is that it is not a typical clamshell suitcase. It doesn't open here. It just opens here at the top. So let's get in and see what's in here. All right, so on top in here, I have my raincoat and Andrew's puffy coat. So we are just bringing these lighter, puffier coats, and then we are also bringing our raincoats so that we can layer on top of it. It is gonna be raining, so we need raincoats, and it's also gonna be cold, so hopefully we can like mix these together and we'll be okay. So this is my raincoat and Andrew's puffy coat. And then this suitcase is where things get wonky. So first of all, I have our monitor. The girls are gonna be sharing a room on this trip, so we only brought 1. Then I got these compression travel packing bags from the Target dollar spot this past winter, I believe. So I have a couple of these in here, and this first one is snow bibs for the girls, packed down nice and tight. I have a backup pair of shoes for Haley. We got her a pair of hiking shoes for this trip. I will put a picture of those up on the screen as well, but I have just some backup tennis shoes for her to wear when we are in Lucerne, especially it's not gonna be as hot there, and just if she needs a break from the hiking shoes. Then next I have another compression packing cube, and this is all of our cold weather things. So beanies for all 4 of us, gloves, scarf for Haley, and a pair of fleece lined leggings for myself. So all of our cold weather stuff is in here. More kid stuff, sound machine and monitor. I also have my hair straightener in here. I've talked about this before, but this, you gotta be careful with hair straighteners. This is one I purchased online a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, it's no longer for sale. It is not made by Chi. This is an old cover, but it has a built-in converter because you cannot use your US hair straighteners abroad. So make sure you check that if you are traveling international with a straightener. And then the last thing we have down in the bottom here is 1 last packing cube, and this has my puffy coat, Delaney's puffy coat, and Delaney's raincoat. So all of that is packed down in here. Hopefully these packing cubes hold up, but they are really nice. You just kind of sit on them. They don't require a pump or anything, and just slowly push the air out. I make sure I do it really carefully so it doesn't pop, and then zip them closed. So we fit a ton of stuff in this suitcase. I kind of wish I had taken a video of what it would look like if we had just dumped everything in here, because there's no way all of this stuff would have fit without these compression cubes. All right, so this is our 3rd suitcase. And we thought we were done with this one with international travel. The wheels on it are not super, but we are hoping that without having to bring the stroller, it will be a little bit more manageable to wheel around. In here, we have lots of extra diapers for Delaney because we had space, so I figured I'd throw some in here. And then we have an extra sweatshirt for Delaney. And then this is our solution for not bringing a stroller. We figured we are mostly gonna be in mountain towns and we didn't want to be like pushing our stroller, which is light and compact for travel, but probably not great for like hiking and off-roading and all that kind of stuff, that we have this brand new carrier. Again, I will throw some clips in here of us wearing it and using it on the trip, but it has this like seat built into it. So Delaney can sit on it. Haley also actually fits in it if we need to give her a little bit of a break, but it's something that we were trying. We were able to get it for relatively cheap on Amazon, and hopefully this will be a good solution for this trip. So we have a carrier in here, again, more diapers, and then the last thing we have over here are some rain snow boots for Delaney. I was gonna have her wear them on the plane, and then I saw I had this extra room in here and just figured she'd probably be more comfortable in tennis shoes. So she is gonna have those to wear if it's raining or snowing or whatever the weather forecast is gonna be. We have those for her. And then the last thing on this side are pull-ups. And then I have an extra long sleeve shirt for me, obviously with the changes of weather in the last like 48 hours, I threw that in here. I also have my backup pair of tennis shoes in here. I am going to be wearing my bean boots from LL Bean for the rain snow potential, and I will be flying in those, but I have these as backups. And then this is a foldable backpack that we are gonna bring for all of our hiking stuff. I wish it did fold down a little bit smaller, but seems like it's a really good size backpack. Again, if we use it, I will throw some clips in here of us using it, but I think this will be nice for all of the hiking and the potential picnicking and all the things that we'll be doing on this trip. So we will probably be using this as like a diaper bag, picnic bag while we're out on the trip. So that wraps it up for my pack with me for our 7 days in Switzerland for our family of 4. We are so excited for this trip. I really hope that we packed everything that we needed. Honestly, this is the most chaotic and the most unprepared I felt for any trip we've been on yet. Although I do know that we have traveled enough now that we are gonna have an awesome time no matter the weather, no matter what's going on. We will find something awesome to do and we will have a special, wonderful week with our family, and I am so excited. So thank you so much for watching today, and if you found this video helpful to see how we pack for our family of 4 for international travel, please make sure you give this video a like. And if you want to follow along for more of our family travel tips, family travel adventures, all of our Swiss adventures, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can get notified when we post new videos. You can also head over to Instagram and follow us at @Explorer as well as Facebook. So thank you so much for watching today, and we will catch you in the next one. Off to Switzerland!